Evening. I'm Ann Emmerich with WILX TV 10. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the Tri-County Office on Aging's 35th annual Dinner and Auction live stream virtual gala. We are very excited to be with you this evening, even from afar. I hope you're all enjoying a relaxing evening at home and ready to experience a different sort of TCOA event this year. Now, even though we can't share a meal in person tonight, I hope you're able to enjoy dinner with your family at home as we each continue to do our part to keep everyone safe and healthy. We have a 1-hour program for you tonight where you'll hear from TCOA clients as well as TCOA staff and volunteers who will be sharing what your support means to this region's older adults and adults with disabilities. Now, first, a few housekeeping notes. If you signed up to watch the event, you should have received a link in your email that invites you to bid in the Click Bid mobile silent auction. Now, if you're just joining us now, you can still participate by visiting the link on your screen and following the prompts to sign up for Click Bid. Remember, the auction closes at exactly 7:30 tonight. We suggest you watch this program from a home laptop or computer while using your phone to participate in the auction. Now, if you choose to receive outbid notifications, you will be texted when you're outbid, so you can tap that bid button again. And if you are the winner, please pay using your credit card directly in ClickBid. We want you to have plenty of time to both bid and enjoy the program, so the auction will close at 7:30, approximately a half an hour after this live stream ends. So as many of you know, TCOA is the area agency on aging for Clinton, Eaton, and Ingham counties, providing more than 25 programs, services, and supports for seniors, adults with disabilities, and their caregivers since 1974. Their mission is to promote and preserve the independence and dignity of the aging population, and they fulfill this mission every day by connecting more than 19,000 people each year with the information and quality services they need to age safely and independently in their homes and communities. TCOA's services and programs remain essential and are continuing to operate, some in a modified way, which you'll learn more about later. For now, we are truly grateful to those of you tuning in and to our sponsors who made this evening possible. You'll find that there are many ways to support TCOA tonight, like purchasing auction items or making a Champions for Independence donation. We thank you in advance for doing what you can to have a positive impact on local older adults and persons with disabilities. We have an exciting program, so stay tuned. I'll see you back here to close the night in just under an hour. And I'd like to now introduce TCOA's Administrative Board Chair, Clinton County Commissioner Ken Mitchell, to say a few words.
Thank you, Ann, for being with us tonight. And thank you to each of you for joining this broadcast. This evening is possible with the support of our sponsors, who have shown their commitment to TCOA for many years and in many ways. Our first thanks goes out to Jackson National Life Insurance Company, the event sponsor. Jackson was also the premier sponsor for the Meals on Wheels golf outing in August, and has supported TCOA programs and services through event sponsorships and matching donations for over 20 years. They have also spent thousands of hours volunteering for Meals on Wheels on Route 31 for over 12 years. You will hear from Jackson's Kirsten Shiner a little later. I would also like to highlight this evening's other top sponsors, who have each contributed $2,000 to the event. First, Dart Bank, our auction sponsor. Dart Bank has been actively involved with TCOA for several years through volunteering with Meals on Wheels and TCOA events, selling raffle tickets and sponsoring events. We also have two entertainment sponsors. One is Delta Retirement Center. They have also been a longtime financial supporter to TCOA, and we are grateful for them for all that they do for the community. The same can be said of our final entertainment sponsor, Sparrow Specialty Hospital. We are proud to partner with Sparrow in many endeavors, including our evidence-based health and wellness programs. Thank you to all. I also invite you to check out the program booklet that was emailed earlier this week to see the complete list of supporters. You can also view the booklet at www.tcoa.org. Thank you again to each of these businesses and groups for showing support, especially in tough times. And now it is my pleasure to introduce TCOA's Executive Director, Marion Owen.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us tonight. I hope each of you is safe and healthy and doing well. We're grateful to be able to offer this live stream event so you can learn more about the Tri-County Office on Aging and how your contributions tonight and all throughout the year have a lasting impact on older adults and adults with disabilities. The mission of TCOA is to promote and preserve the independence and dignity of the aging population. We know the ongoing pandemic is at the forefront of everyone's minds, and at TCOA it is no different. You'll hear more about how we've been operating since March in a little while, but I'd like to share some of the most recent accomplishments that you have helped to achieve for this area's older adults and adults with disabilities. Even though it's been a hard year so far, we have much to be thankful for. On the August 2020 ballot, Ingham County residents voted an overwhelming majority to pass the elder persons millage. This has been a long time coming, and we are thrilled that we will have an additional source of revenue to provide care and services for the growing older adult population. We are developing the services and related costs to meet the terms and intent of the millage. This includes reducing the wait list for in-home services, preventing a wait list for our home-delivered meals, and enhancing vital services such as legal services, the Ombudsman program to handle nursing home complaints, and education, crisis services to assist with immediate needs, such as utilities, information and assistance where people can obtain accurate information on services, programs, and benefits available. Community resource navigator and a case coordinator to work directly with older adults to assist them with finding services, enabling them to remain independent, and other vital services where there is little to no assistance available, such as home repair to support safe homes and enable seniors to remain in the community. According to the 2018 American Community Survey, the 60-plus population rose 33% between 2010 and 2018 in our service area. That's compared to just a 4% increase in the general population overall. We are an aging population, and needs are only becoming greater and more complex. So this millage is an opportunity to meet these growing needs. But it's important to remember that this millage funding can only be used for Ingham County residents. Other sources of funds, including local, federal, and state funding, and your contributions, help us to fill in the growing gaps for service in Ingham County, but also in Clinton and Eaton counties, where there is not currently a millage. As you know, it was also a census year, and we were involved in efforts to make sure every Michigander was counted so the state can receive a fair share of funding for social programs, some of which TCOA provides. And although the Day of Advocacy, the Older Michiganians Day, was not held in person this year, a virtual Senior Action Day was held on June 24th, and we appreciate everyone who took the opportunity to write or call their legislators about the need for funding for older adult programs and services. These efforts were successful, and advocacy for older adult issues continues on many issues related to their needs, including support for the direct care workforce. In-home care services cannot exist without the incredible dedication of the workers. These individuals have a tough job, and we owe it to them to advocate for greater wages. We were pleased that this year, direct care workers received a $2 an hour increase through the end of December. We hope to see this become a permanent increase as one step in addressing the shortage of workers to provide these essential services such as personal care, help with eating, bathing, and respite services to caregivers. On a positive note, we saw the biggest response ever to our annual spring solicitation letter back in May with nearly $43,000 in individual donations. We owe that to you. Individual contributions have always helped support needs that we don't have another source of funding. It was particularly humbling to see how many people gave more than ever before, even in this harsh economic climate. The contributions gathered through all of our fundraising efforts, including tonight, are so important for the safety and independence of older adults. As you can imagine, requests for assistance are on the rise, and we anticipate that this will continue. So thank you for making a difference. Finally, I want to wish each of you and your families and loved ones well as we head into another winter. It may be some time before we can welcome you, our staff, and our volunteers in person again. But we have made it through these last several months and will continue to be here to serve this community's older adults no matter what comes. And with your help, I am confident that we will weather this storm together. Thank you so much for all that you do. Now I am pleased to introduce a TCOA care manager, Heidi Glue.
It is my honor to introduce you to Garrett Gruner. I first was connected with Garrett and Joe in 2015 when they were both in a nursing home and wanted to transition back to their own home. Tri-County Office on Aging was there to help. We worked with Joe for 2.5 years. In 2016, Mr. Gruner joined the care management program and then later transitioned to the My Choice waiver. Over the years, Tri-County Office on Aging has been able to work with Mr. Gruner in multiple ways to ensure that he and Joe had their care goals met. Through the years, Mr. Gruner has been connected with various programs and community resources to help meet his needs. From the MET program to Medicaid eligibility and home-delivered meals, Tri-County was there. Mr. Gruner was a strong advocate for Joe, and he continues to be a strong advocate for himself. It has been a privilege to work with Joe and Garrett. I give you Mr. Garrett Gruner.
My wife, Josephine, and I started out as a typical retired couple on Social Security. It was a touch and go financially. And we went along that way quite nicely for a while, and then Josephine got terminally ill. That's when the support from Tri-County really meant so much. We had occasion to be hospitalized in Hazel Finley. That's where we met Heidi. She suggested that at that point, Josephine might be eligible for waiver. She went ahead and put through all the applications and whatnot. Turned out Josephine was eligible for it, and the waiver program picked up Josephine's extra expenses because she was basically on a medical situation. She lived about two months longer after that. And then she passed on, and I kept in touch with Tri-County, or Tri-County kept in touch with me. I have just about exactly what I need right here now. Housekeeping keeps the house decent. I have Meals on Wheels, and I have regular visits from nice people. Heidi is a very impressive lady. When somebody visits you in a nursing home and presents you with as many alternatives and as much information as she did, that's pretty amazing. And I assume that Heidi has the same workload everybody else does. But for me, and I think probably the rest of the clients, we're not aware of it. Never too busy for us. And I really appreciate that. And I appreciate the program itself. If a person can enjoy their life at home thanks to an organization like Tri-County, why you can't speak more highly. So I'm a real fan, but I'm also a recipient of wonderful service. It's a solution for a person in my spot, a true solution. And that's a rare thing indeed.
Thank you so much, Garrett, for sharing your story with us tonight. It is good to hear from another individual who is receiving quality caring services from Tri-County on Aging. My name is Larry Klikutka, and I serve as co-chair on Tri-County on Aging's CSI committee, which stands for Choice, Satisfaction, and Independence. We are a committee of participants of the Project Choices program who meet on an ongoing basis to consult with Tri-County on topics related to quality improvement. The CSI committee provides perspective, which is integral to Tri-County on Aging's quality improvement plan. What this means is we as clients have a voice in our care, and our input helps to inform the type of person-centered services that Tri-County on Aging strives to all its participants like Garrett and myself. I have volunteered with CSI for 11 years, and I can tell you it has been worth it. I urge you to consider how you might also become involved in the great work that Tri-County does, remembering there are so many ways to support this work, especially this evening. The mobile auction closes at 7:30 p.m., so don't forget, get those bids in. Thank you for the difference you're making for Tri-County on Aging clients. Now, a few words from the event sponsor, Jackson National Life's Insurance Company's Kirsten Shiner.
Hi there, I'm Kirsten Shiner, Corporate Philanthropy Manager at Jackson National Life Insurance Company. At Jackson, we're proud to partner with organizations that support strong families and increase economic opportunities in the communities where our associates live and work, which is why we're so excited to be a sponsor of this evening's virtual event that raises so much money for the great work that Tri-County Office on Aging does in our community. Not only are we a sponsor of the annual dinner, but our associates also volunteer their time delivering Meals on Wheels every single day of the year to seniors in need in the Okemos area. Thank you, TCOA, for all of the great work that you do supporting our community.
My name is Colleen Reed, and I can honestly say that my brother's ability to live on his own for the last 3 years is the direct result of assistance he received from the Tri-County Office on Aging. It's inconceivable to consider what his life would have been like without the services of the Information and Assistance Program. You see, 3 years ago, my sister and I came from Florida to help my brother with some repairs he wanted to make. And in advance, we made contact with Jill Moulton from the Tri-County Office on Aging to consider what senior services might be available for rehab projects. When we arrived, we were not prepared for what we found. My brother, who for his entire life had always worked full-time, had also worked at least one other part-time job, while being an active artist who produced beautiful art from basket weaving to stained glass. Well, when we got to his house, he was living in a hoarding condition that went from floor to ceiling. We were not aware of his current living condition because he had always managed his own affairs and for decades had been traveling to see our mom and the rest of the family in Florida. Well, once we saw the situation, we called Jill at the Tri-County Office on Aging, and she met with all of us. And based on the assistance and information we received that day, we applied it all to his situation and got him back on track. And he has been able to continue to live independently for the last 3 years. The Information and Assistance Program could not be better named, since my brother's continued independence was unquestionably made possible through the many services we learned about through this program. Before finishing the story, there's an important ingredient to the program's success that I want to definitely highlight, and that is the highly trained staff that are the backbone of the program. As I said earlier, my family worked with Jill Moulton, who is nothing short of a miracle worker. Because of Jill's highly effective communication skills, she was able to help my brother understand that without dealing with the hoarding situation, his house could be red tagged by the city, and he would be without a home until it was cleaned up.
The information and assistance offered on that fateful day, when Jill helped us all gain an understanding surrounding a hoarding situation, is what we used from that point forward to create a plan that would help my brother. He genuinely appreciated the help he could not manage on his own at that time. Staff members of the Information and Assistance Program are essential community assets, and in our case, the information and assistance Jill provided preserved my brother's independence by increasing our awareness of community services, including counseling, senior home repair services, financial counseling, and et cetera, et cetera. It was just many, many services we learned about that day. And we have continually used that information from that amazing session when she first introduced them to us. So personally, I'm so grateful for being able to say thank you to Jill and all the members of this incredible program, because they offer the assistance needed for many seniors to remain independent. The implications of their value are far-reaching. My family's so fortunate that Lansing offers such a vital service. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Tammy Lemmer, and I'm TCOA's Community Relations Director. As you've heard from others this evening, the services that TCOA provides are essential to the safety, health, and well-being of older adults and adults with disabilities in our community. TCOA exists to help older adults gain access to supports and resources that help them thrive and live safely at home for as long as possible, and often through a person's entire life. A home is a place where you are safe, secure, and can receive the care you need. The pandemic has shown others what we have known since our agency's founding in 1974. In the best of times and the worst of times, it's important that we look out for each other. That's true now more than ever. Safety and health of our clients, volunteers, and staff have been top concerns these last several months. The last day the TCOA office was open to the public was March 13th. Plans were then launched that drastically changed how we operated and implemented programs. That following Monday, the majority of TCOA's talented and flexible staff began working remotely, with eligibility assessments, case management appointments, and other services shifting to online platforms or via telephone. Staff continue to maintain regular contact with clients, helping to prevent feelings of fear and loneliness, while also meeting standards for new and continuing assessments. Kitchen staff continue to assemble and prepare food for home-delivered meals and meal pickup site participants. Since this spring, TCOA also coordinated delivery and pickup of personal protective equipment to clients as well as direct care workers through our network of provider agencies. This included distributing thousands of handmade cloth masks, as well as over 32,000 surgical or medical masks, over 130 gallons of hand sanitizer, and over 5,000 gloves. TCOA also coordinated volunteers to shop for older adults to ensure they had food, cleaning, or household supplies, including toilet paper, without having to leave their homes. TCOA's Meals on Wheels home delivered meals program decreased the delivery schedule from up to 5 days a week per person down to 1 day a week in order to minimize contact between volunteers and participants, as well as kitchen staff. However, participants continued to get up to a week's worth of meals to meet their nutritional needs. We're grateful to volunteers who continue to pick up and deliver to our clients. The agency's year-to-date client total of 2,314 individuals is already 214 people higher than all of fiscal year 2019. Congregate senior dining sites were closed, but in their place, we continue to offer meal pickups offered at 24 different locations across the Tri-County area. At the peak of this service, TCOA served 5,775 meals to 825 people in 1 week, with a total of 1,355 enrolled participants. Through funding and coordination from the Aging and Adult Services Agency of the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, TCOA was able to deliver or make available for pickups specially designed quarantine boxes containing non-perishable food supplies that included up to 20 meals. Volunteers helped distribute over 450 boxes to date. An additional 350 people received produce boxes at least once, and in some cases weekly, between June and September. Because of the limited socialization and contact with staff and volunteers resulting from these changes, TCOA launched friendly reassurance calls. These calls, which still continue for a percentage of our clients, were conducted by staff and volunteers and served as a mechanism for checking in on seniors who might be at risk of social isolation and who might not otherwise have anyone to turn to in an emergency. For some, the phone calls became a high point in the day for both the volunteer and the client. We're so grateful to all of TCOA's volunteers, both those that have continued in the pandemic and those on hold as we navigate how to safely resume normal operation. We once again want to thank our wonderful volunteers, community partners, funders, and everyone who helped keep our operations running during these challenging times. And now, a special message from TCOA's fundraising and volunteer specialist and virtual event planner extraordinaire, Casey Cooper.
So much for that introduction, Tammy. I have to say, it's been interesting to plan a fully virtual event this year, but we have a great team of colleagues and volunteers behind us who worked as hard as ever this year, collecting auction items and helping us learn to navigate how we were going to do a virtual event. But we're so glad to be here, and we thank all of you for joining us. And speaking of volunteers, I do want to take a moment of silence for a very special volunteer who we learned very sadly passed a couple of weeks ago, Mr. J.J. Jackson. JJ served on TCOA's advisory council and will be missed by the many TCOA staff, volunteers, and all who had the good fortune to meet him. Please take a few moments of silence for JJ. Thank you very much. He was a wonderful person and a great volunteer. And before we get started checking in on auction items, I also want to shout out Uno Dos Multimedia. They're our broadcaster tonight, and their creativity and professionalism helped guide us. They've been great to work with, so thank you to Uno Dos. Now, I want to take a few minutes of your time to highlight some of our very special auction items tonight, donated from all over the community. As you know, there is no live auction this year, but we still have a lot of fantastic packages in the silent auction that I hope you'll treat as a live auction and bid high and bid often, as we say. Remember that the bids close at 7:30 tonight, so please make sure to check back to ClickBid before then to place those last-minute bids. You can also set a maximum bid. This works by going to ClickBid and choosing the items that you want. You go in and set the maximum bid through ClickBid. That means that the system will automatically keep on bidding for you until that bid has been reached by somebody else. Once it is, ClickBid will notify you again so that you can choose to up your bid. And I hope you will, because there's a lot of good stuff out there. So let's take a look behind the scenes at some of the unbid items in real time. As you can see, there's a few things on here that have no bids yet, but I've got to say, in the name of charity, let's give them a little more love. You can see these two if you click on ClickBid and then click within your phone on menu and then no bid items. We want to get them out of here, and we want to make sure that they get the credit they deserve. So check these out. One in particular is a fused glass leaf decoration piece, and this is beautiful. It comes directly from Delphi Glass, and they make it specially for us. So we want to make sure that that gets used. There are some beautiful paintings from a local Lansing artist, an oil change, and a few other things that we want you to take advantage of tonight. So check those out. Now, I want to switch over to the screen that you can see and take another live look at what you're most interested in. These would be traditionally live items, but I want to give them the credit they deserve and talk them up a bit. I'm no auctioneer, but they're worthy of a shout out. So let's take a look. The $500 Meyer card. First of all, I'm so happy to see it's overvalued because you can do that. It's the thing that we would love you to do. There's quite a few gift cards sprinkled throughout the auction. Kroger, Meyer, Visa cards. So thank you for getting those up in value and bidding on those items. Item number 2, a few bids on there, a trip to Mexico, which is fantastic. And Paul, if you can click into that for me behind the scenes here and bring us to the site. You can all do this too. This shows you what it looks like at the hotel, at the Mayan Palace. It's a beautiful place. The trip is in March and it does come with trip insurance. So remember that when you bid on this. It's from our longtime friend, Home Care Alternatives. A big thank you to them for this donation. They do this every year and it's always a fantastic trip. Now, if we can take a look at item number 3, this is a beautiful ring. It's from Aronson Jewelers. Normally, we would have played heads or tails, the game for this gorgeous ring, but as you can see, it deserves a lot of bids. Mark Aronson is a talented jeweler, and he's donated a piece for us for many years. This ring has a lot of possibilities. The holidays are coming up. It looks like maybe an engagement ring or an anniversary gift, something of that sort, but I encourage you to help get those bids up on that beautiful ring. Item number 4 has already been taken, the French dinner. It's sold, it's popular. Big thanks to Ellen and Mark Sullivan, Ken Ross, and Brian Hugler for donating that again this year. Another item, item number 5, traditionally a live item favorite, a 3-night stay at a condo in Petoskey, courtesy of Steve Dugan. He's one of our FFI volunteers at TCOA, helps with our fundraising. And all the past winners of this have told us how much they enjoyed this place. It's a really nice place, and who doesn't love going north in the summer? Not to mention it's a whole package deal, comes with a $50 gift card to Study Park Grill, historic restaurant in downtown Petoskey. Now, item number 6, we haven't had anything like this before. It's brand new for us. It's the Lansing Sailing Club Associate Membership. A lot of perks for an associate membership. If you read through the list there and the details, it shows you everything you get. You learn how to sail, you have access to the club kayaks and racing events and picnics, so much more that we can take advantage of next summer. So a big thank you to the Lansing Sailing Club and Mary Beth Fletcher, our volunteer, for donating this. And lastly, for our featured items, we can't forget to highlight the barrel of booze. And actually, one of the winners who won this one year told me that they bought this and they gave the liquor out as gifts to folks, which is a really great idea for the upcoming holiday season. And that's all that I have time to highlight for you this evening in the auction, but remember that you can continue browsing and bidding until 7:30 tonight. I will send an email reminder and connect with each of the winners to arrange getting you your items. And remember, because of this evening's sponsors covering all the costs of putting on this event, all the proceeds tonight from Champions for Independence donations and auction items go directly to funding TCOA programs and services. Thank you so much for bidding, for watching, and for supporting our efforts to keep older adults safe, healthy, and independent. Now, a word from TCOA Supports Coordinator, Jackie Kemp.
Hi, my name is Jackie Kemp. I have been a social work care manager here at the Tri-County Office on Aging for 27 years. In that amount of time, I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of clients on maintaining their independence and helping them to understand their choices and options for care that fit within their desires, needs, and goals. I have been working with our next speaker, Shyla, for the past 3.5 years. When we first met Shyla, she was not getting the care and support that she needed. She was stranded in a second-floor apartment and ended up being homeless a short time thereafter. Despite struggling with MS for most of her adult life and on and off homelessness, she has always maintained a positive attitude, her faith in God, and has a desire to have others learn from her life experiences. A couple of years ago, she shared with me her desire to do some motivational speaking and is always eager to share her story. I present to you Shyla Outlaw.
So I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis when I was 19. I had been through a lot in life already. And when I got that diagnosis, I was definitely scared. I was at first working with DHS. They were providing the care for me, and it was only 2 hours a day. And one of my friends was like, I'm going to apply you to Tri-County. Before Tri-County, I kind of just slid by life. I kind of just took everything and was like kind of faking my happiness. The first day that I met anyone from Tri-County, I was staying with my daughter. We were homeless at the time. I needed morning and evening care. I wasn't able to necessarily brush my teeth twice a day. If I had an accident, I might have had to wait till the next day to be changed. So when I met Tri-County, you guys assessed me and talked to me about like what would make things easier in my life to be at home and still be a functioning person in society. So we thought, doing my showers in the morning so that I can eat, drink my coffee, be myself, and then have someone come back in the evenings to help me again with like nighttime care. I feel very independent. I feel safe. That is the biggest thing. I didn't always feel safe before. I feel very safe now. I can get everything I need done so that when my grandkids come over for a little bit, I can spend time with them. I don't need assistance. We're safe together, and I feel like I got super blessed. They are always going to do whatever they can to make sure that their clients are taken care of. They're going to stand up for us. They're not going to allow people, if they're not doing their job right, they will step in and say, no, no, no. So they're kind of my heroes. And I would really recommend that if you are thinking of donating to different things, that you would give Tri-County a chance, because this organization is amazing.
A huge thank you to Shyla for sharing that special story with us. My name is Martine Carter, and I'm the Greater Lansing Meals on Wheels Supervisor. I want to share my sincere appreciation and thanks to all of you with us tonight. As many of you know, the Meals on Wheels program and several others at TCOA would not have the impact or reach that they do without the community's financial support and thousands of hours of volunteering each year. With that said, this is your final reminder to get your bid in on ClickBid. The auction will close at exactly 7:30 p.m. I also invite you to check out the program booklets on our website and Facebook page so you can see all of the sponsors who donated the baskets, gift cards, and other items for the silent auction. We are fortunate to live in such a generous community. And now, I would like to present our last speaker for this evening, Miss Anita Turner. Anita has served on TCOA's Advisory Council since January 2017 and currently serves as the president. Welcome, Anita.
Good evening, all, and thank you, Martine, for your introduction. It's my pleasure to be here with you tonight to host this very special component of the event. You have heard from TCOA staff, clients, and from volunteers like me. I hope these stories you have heard will be lasting, encouraging you to consider them as we, one last time, seek your financial support. Fundraisers such as you have heard about this evening are incredibly important to fulfilling the increasing needs of older adults, particularly now when we have heard from so many who desire and choose to age in place at home. Coronavirus pandemic has affected older adults to a great extent, and agencies like TCOA are called upon to meet growing complex needs. But these resources are unable to do it without community help like yours. Although progress is being made, the effects of the pandemic, financial, physical, social, and emotional, will continue to be felt for many years, especially by older adults and by adults with disabilities. Even before COVID, this new normal occurred, the older adult population was and is on the rise, and public funding is limited. Never enough to fully meet the needs. As you consider why you are present tonight, think of the older adults in your life, or perhaps your own life, who already have and may one day need aging services. TCOA will be there for you, as you are here for TCOA now. For those who have been to the dinner and auction before, you're familiar with our champions of independence. It is going to look a bit different tonight. Instead of raising your hand, to the auctioneer when you want to make a gift, you simply need to click on item number 150 and click bid to donate what you can. You may also visit the website at www.tcoa.org/donate or send a check to the address on the screen. Give what you can, what is meaningful to you. And please know that every amount is deeply appreciated. Thank you for being a champion for independence. Have a pleasant evening.
Thank you, Anita, for that appeal for a very worthy cause. That concludes our evening together for TCOA's virtual live stream gala. We hope you all had a fantastic night and learned a lot more about TCOA and the services they provide to this community's older adults and adults with disabilities. We hope you'll share what you learned tonight with others and invite them to find a way to become involved with TCOA. Remember, you have until 7:30 this evening to get your bids in on ClickBid. Best of luck. Finally, thank you so much to all of our sponsors and our guests for tuning in and supporting TCOA's mission. Have a great evening.